Here. Good morning, chat. Let's get that mic set up. Still not fully sure how I feel about being up this gosh darn early every day to get ready for NBA. But here we are. What's up, everybody? I'm Gun, twitter.com/GundeckerSports. Wishing you a happy Tuesday, August 4th, 2020. Yesterday was a good one. Let's get Raj in here. Yo.
Yo. Oh, right on cue. You got me right on cue with that one.
You're so predictable.
Happens.
How you doing?
Not too bad. It's the end of a long weekend.
Tuesday's the end of a long weekend? What?
I mean, yesterday was, last day, but the morning after a long weekend.
Is there really weekends anymore during COVID unless you work?
Yeah, I think we're at stage 3 now, so things are opening up.
Must be nice.
For the most part, but yeah.
Who knows?
People are still working from home.
If it wasn't for sports being back, I would have no idea what day of the week it is. I was just floating.
One of those. No, trust me. First month or two of lockdown, it was you don't know what time. What day was.
I was just existing.
Facts.
That's it.
Facts. Yeah.
What's up, Casey? What's up, Saint K Self? 213, Mr. Hustle. The Nets sleeping into you. Nets are a little bit. Nets are making the FanDuel slate really annoying. What up, Miss Dad? What up, Matt? The landlord's knocking. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. What up, Jason? Porter Jr., 12% owned in the contest I was in. There was 78,000 lineups. Love short-term memory loss, man. If you had some Michael Porter Jr. yesterday, you were above the rest.
I think we definitely read too much into him arguing with the coach, I guess.
I don't know. I watched next game. He drops 17 or something.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But no, if you had awesome. Man, I had some lineups. I had some lineups yesterday that scored 380, and instead of MPJ, I had Kuzma or something. It was, but 450 plus was in first place in my contest.
The core was strong yesterday. Everybody.
Oh yeah.
Except John Morant John Morant kind of let us down.
Chat. We got screenshots last night, man. It was something, man. Let's brag on the squad. If you guys have been on the fence about being part of that RunDFS.com Discord, Bold Sports last night were producing winners. And like I said, all different bankroll levels. Look at Zay dropping that 329 winnings last night. Who else hit last night? OT Serenity, my boy Jay. You do the math. That's $20,000 last night that he won, and that's on top of a big.
Who won $20,000? I missed that screenshot. Goddamn.
Jalen OT. He had just hit for $10K in NASCAR a week or so ago. My boy Rich was smacking in MLB. My wiener's big too. We got people. Damron. Shout out to Damron. Perfect example of somebody who is new to MLB learning, and we're a week or so in, and here we are. He's able to construct 5 lineups, have a process for all of them, and he cashed 4 of 5, so shout out to Damron. Our boy ECW Hardcore, $18 entered, $2,025 back. That's some ROI right there.
What you want?
It was, there's some sus stuff. My boy Rich, he said he deposited $10. Now he's coming back with $253. So, like I said, all bankroll levels, they're getting it done in there. So if you guys are looking for a good team, everyone rooting for everyone, and we are in it. We're on it, grinding all day. Voice chats throughout the day. Heck, yesterday we spent some time after lock watching baseball together because you could totally legally stream in the Discord. Oh, and by the way, if you wanted to get into Discord, you would have to have a RunDFS.com subscription, which would also get you access to the research spreadsheets, which are really good, especially for baseball. Baseball's a monster. So, the beat though. What up, Darian? This early lock got y'all losing sleep, bro. It's wild, bro. Start streaming on Twitch again so I can cook and watch at the same time. What? You don't have like a YouTube app? I probably should, but Twitch is for the Fortnites. What up, Doug? You, Slick, Rick? Does anyone here play the Madden streams? No, I don't. I haven't been that degenny during this break to go play simulated sports. But hey, man. Yeah, I would have I'm kind of a nerd in an alternate universe. I cast like sporting events and even esports events. Like I wish one of those sites would have reached out to me and be like, "Yo, Gunn, you want to cast this?" And DFS, but the opportunity never created itself. So whatever. Chris Davis finally homered last night. Yes, he did. Anyway, we have a basketball slate today. That starts at 1:30 Eastern, and it's staggered throughout the day. We got 5 or 6 games again, the 5-6 game slates during the regular season were really the wheelhouse. So it's not surprising to see so much success in the Discord. But man, does it get tricky right off the bat. The Milwaukee Bucks hosting the Brooklyn Nets, and when I say Brooklyn Nets, I mean asterisk. I don't know what their G League team name is, but aren't they like the Dragons or something? This is a G League quality team that they're throwing out there today, and I'm honestly surprised they're only minus 17.5 underdogs or plus 17.5 underdogs because the Bucks are a powerhouse team, and I can only I'm still I would assume they said something by now, but it still feels like there's a great chance one of these Bucks starters gets the day off just because of how Bush League this Nets lineup looks.
If I was I would say Giannis easy.
Yeah, I would too, and I know Giannis was a subject of load management throughout the season, but there was a lot of back-to-backs that he would sit or something like that. But this is one of those spots where I know we had X amount of months off and we don't need load management because we're playing every other day. But I would just not play Giannis in this game, just knock on wood. I don't want to risk my guy getting injured against this team. You know what I'm saying? He's not needed. But nothing like that has come out, so it's all just me kind of being speculative. But anyway, our projected lineup here for the Brooklyn Nets: Chris Chiozza, Tyler Johnson, Garrett Temple, Rodion Carew, Lance Thomas, I guess, taking on Eric Bledsoe, Dante DiVincenzo, Chris Middleton, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Brook Lopez. So don't quote me on that Nets lineup. It could be different. One thing I did kind of look at was what the F they're going to do at center, and they don't have many options. And Lance Thomas being a center is a problem, but I don't really think the team actually cares. So there's that. Shout out to DraftKings for pricing up these Nets players, right? I don't think we're quick to yell at the sites, but DraftKings made it to where Tyler Johnson 6.6K. The guy was coming in
squares.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have to deal with 60% chalk 20s and we're all dead. FanDuel did not quite react like that. But DraftKings definitely made it to where if you didn't want to stress yourself with rostering Nets players, you don't have to, right? 6K for Garrett Temple, 66 for Tyler Johnson, 5 for Chris Chiozza. I'm sure, these guys could still be viable plays, but it certainly feels much less pressure in terms of jamming them in. On FanDuel, I open up FanDuel, and Tyler Johnson's 4K in the point guard spot, right? So just out of curiosity here, all the big studs of the slate are not at point guard outside of maybe Westbrook and Lillard. So if I wanted to start a lineup right now and I considered Giannis or Harden or Luka, Porzingis, Kawhi, Paul George, I'm just going to go play Tyler Johnson and hope 35 minutes of fast-paced basketball at 4K pays off. FanDuel's kind doing the opposite of DraftKings there, kind of leaving those guys there for you to test. Timothy Luwawu is another guy here, 3,800 on FanDuel. He's actually been solid in terms of point per minute production from a fantasy standpoint. If you look at his game log, 14 and 19, 31 and 21 the last two games. That last one was like a fourth quarter craziness, but he's a guy we've seen with like the Sixers that would get some cleanup duty. So the first two names, I guess maybe the three names that I'd be interested in on the cheap. Maybe four: Tyler Johnson, Garrett Temple, Rodion Carew, and Timothy Luwawu. And everything else is just like dealing with the unknown. But even those four, like I'm not confident that all four get there on an average range of outcomes. So that's going to be a headache. And then cross-reference that, man, the headache of the Bucks. How many times have we faded Giannis Antetokounmpo because of a blowout, and in 25 minutes he drops 65, 70? Like, could this be one of those times where if he did play,
he should have 60-50 by half easily. I mean, to me, I think I'm probably just going to fade this game. I'm playing on DK. So in Brooklyn, everyone's they priced them up. You have Lance Thomas at 3,800 playing center position. I mean, tell me a guy at 3,800, 25 to 30 minutes at center position. Could he fall into a double-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds? Sure, but I just think the upside's so limited on all these guys. I think they're going to play just a ton of guys at 20 minutes. Just throw bodies out there, not really caring. Milwaukee, I mean, do you look at their backups? Like a Sterling Brown at 3,600 could play the entire second half. A guy like Marvin Williams could play the entire second half. Are you going to play those guys or just fade it? I'm just going to fade it. I think there's a couple other good games you could target. I'm just going to fade this game entirely.
That's what I want to do. So I think what I'll do is probably dress up my lineups elsewhere. Like I said, I still think that in the back of my mind, I want to be prepared for a surprise rest. So let me ask you this: if right now, or let's say an hour before lock, maybe even 40 minutes, where you're like, oh, okay, I got my decisions made, bam, out of nowhere, Giannis is resting, Chris Middleton 6'9" on FanDuel, 7'9" on DraftKings.
If Giannis rests, I start to almost stack this game with Middleton. So, and I think of a guy like Garrett Temple could keep this game. Have a TJ Warren night. Garrett Temple could have a TJ Warren night.
No, stop.
I'm telling you.
No, he can't. Literally stop. Okay. I don't want to.
Milwaukee's not that good. Without Giannis, they're incredibly mediocre.
Okay, shut up.
If Giannis sits, I get that game, and Garrett Temple drops 30 real life points.
Okay.
I gotta say that.
He's had some really shockers, but yeah, anyway, that's just something in the back of my head. I feel like could happen. Bledsoe could be in to get his wheels back under him, and then it just seems really likely that someone could be out. We'll see. I guess I'll keep an eye on this spread as we get closer. But I just really feel like this is an opportunity for the Bucks to continue that load management philosophy on Giannis. I think they play not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow. So that's just me thinking out loud, man. Nothing official, so chat, I don't want to spook you guys, but I would say maybe just brainstorm a contingency plan just in case that did happen, because if you have all your lineups set with 30 minutes to lock and then bam, something like that hit, you'd have to take some Middleton here. Middleton has been a monster without Giannis, and even Bledsoe at 4.7 on FanDuel. Not quite sure what his minutes would be, just because of him not playing since the return, but just some ideas floating around. See what you guys got in the live chat before we matriculate on to the next one. Peter D, what up, Pete, says Lopez revenge game, though the team the Nets are rolling out now is revenge enough. Yeah, that's a yikes, right? Rod, it's too early for that Garrett Temple having a Warren night nonsense. Yeah,
I'm telling you, man, if Giannis sits,
no,
game's back.
Okay, but you wouldn't though. This still just for the record, if Giannis sits, they're still getting smoked. So all the way lax.
I don't think Milwaukee's that good without Giannis.
You're out of your mind. You're literally dumb. You're literally dumb. I mean,
Middleton's fine. I think Bledsoe's really up and down.
Stop. Look at this. This is not a real team the Nets are throwing out, bro.
I hear you.
The Milwaukee's not that good, bro. That's okay. All right. That's like the dumbest thing I've heard in a long time.
Every good team.
Chat, haven't we missed these streams? Man, These are the hot takes, bro. Let's move on from that game, and let's see what else we can draw out of the Canadian this morning. Sacramento Kings hosting the Dallas Mavericks. Project starting 5 for the Mavs. Luka Doncic, DeLon Wright, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, Kristaps Porzingis taking on De'Aaron Fox, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Harrison Barnes, Nemanja Bjelica, and Rashawn Holmes. A 235.5 total. Pretty high total for a team, a game that kind of projects lower in pace, but we have seen some shootouts lately. Did you see the score in the Sixers and Spurs game yesterday? Insane. Literally insane.
What the theory is that I was watching a video. They were saying something about the vision of the shooters with no fans in the stands.
I mean, I could see it, right? No,
they're talking about some vision thing, yeah. And I forgot the word. They use the word to describe it, but yeah, that's why apparently scoring's up because you can just shoot better with no fans in there.
In baseball, they have what's called a batter's eye, which is the background where you can pick up the ball. But we've definitely heard over the years the old Ryan Anderson theory that you can shoot. Yeah, I mean, I could believe that. It's a pickup court. You don't have fans jaw jacking. You don't have celebrities in the front row where you're trying to show out for them. So I can see this is just pickup basketball. But for the Spurs to drop 130 on a back-to-back against the 76ers that are supposed to be a good defensive team. I know Ben Simmons was in big foul trouble, but that was shocking to me. So when I come in and I see a total 235.5 for the Kings and Mavericks, I'm just like, well, maybe I should respect it a little bit more because we've had some surprises here in this bubble. Luka Doncic 10.7K on DraftKings, 11K on FanDuel. I think he's interesting to me because I'm curious to see where he falls in terms of the studs today. It seems like every other day we get one slate with all studs and then one slate with not, and fast-paced Grizzlies and Pelicans games and stuff like that. But on the season, Luka's got 3 games against the Kings. He's averaging 59.3 DKP. In the last couple games, 65-64. So we haven't seen that super high ceiling, and that 64, it took him an overtime series to get there. But 40 real points against the Phoenix Suns, double-double with assist. This is definitely a spot where I'm curious to see if he falls lower than Harden, which I'm sure he will, and then I can see a lot of people even running Harden back with Damian Lillard or somebody like that. So is Luka a guy on a 5-6 game slate with that 60-70 point upside that gives me maybe a little lower ownership and maybe some leverage opportunity. So I'm curious with that. And then Porzingis has been on a nice little tear. Again, that 9K price tag on both sites makes me feel like I'm paying up for ceiling. Drop 52 against Phoenix, 37 minutes. But he's definitely a guy that has an extremely high floor right now. He's playing deep minutes. I can't X amount of my player pool, and then Doncic and Porzingis are becoming a nice handcuff. Just hate that it costs $20,000 between them, and you need a whole lot in return. The supplementary players on the Mavericks, a much harder wheel to predict, so I probably don't dabble with them. I would just have some Doncic or Porzingis. And then we've run it back with the Kings players. I'm still waiting for a good Rashawn Holmes games that makes me feel warm and fuzzy from a fantasy perspective. But at 4-9 on FanDuel as a power forward, I probably still take chances on that, although I do respect Porzingis' defense, and generally I wouldn't look at this game as a overly friendly game for fantasy, but this total has me thinking other things. De'Aaron Fox, 7.3K. I'm probably not going to land on a lot of Fox just because I will have a lot of high-end, low-end point guard combos with guys like Harden. But Bogdan Bogdanovic, Rashawn Holmes, those are two that kind of peek out to me. And then if we let DVP tell the story, the forward spot, the small forward spot, usually can get off against the Mavericks as well. So I tell you what, I think I need to be a little bit more invested in this game just because of this total. But anybody screaming out to you, because if we look at that team stats tab in the RunDFS.com VIP spreadsheet, the Kings come into this game as the slowest paced team in basketball, and the Mavericks are league average. So metrically, it should be a pace down spot, but that total's suggesting, potential.
Yeah, you mentioned Luka, Porzingis. the studs. If you want to play them, play them. I think with no Seth Curry, he's not going to play today because of injury. Hardaway Jr. could be if you want to take a shot. He's 6'1". He shot 1 for 12 last game. Got you 20 fantasy points, DK. So, I mean, he shoots 5 for 12. Could be a 38, close to a 40. So, I mean, if you fall into a 6K Tim Hardaway, I don't hate it. In the Sacramento side, I've been waiting for have a shot at home game. So he's only played 24 minutes in back-to-back games. I don't know if that's a minutes thing with him or obviously they've been blown out the last game. So might be a wait and see on that one. I think either Buddy Hield or Bogdanovic are the Kings that I'm interested in, like just small forwards against Dallas.
Yeah,
really want to attack.
Hield's one of those guys where people are always like wanting to play Hield, but he just doesn't get he's such a scoring dependent shot in the dark at 5K.
Yeah,
and it seems like more often than not it's just either an average result or at 5K his ceiling seems to be 30 until further notice. So I don't think I'm gonna get that high behind Hield, but I get it. It could be a game on the horizon, but no matter what, it's a scoring dependent game. But if this game's saying that they're going to score, then maybe this is one of those spots. But yeah, Sacramento did get smoked by Orlando. And then the previous game, they were competitive with San Antonio. But I think Rashawn was in foul trouble. Let me pull up He's a center on DK, by the way. Against San Antonio, he fouled out in 24 minutes. So I don't think the minutes thing is directly reflective of a minutes plan. I just think that's a foul out and a blowout. And if you look at that last game against the Orlando Magic, we pull up that popcorn machine. Rashawn, where you at, Rashawn? Rashawn only played 5 minutes into the fourth, and then they threw in Jabari Parker, Yogi Ferrell, and the cleanup squad. And even Harry Giles is in the mix. So I think in a neutral game, Rashawn Holmes, they would probably like to squeeze 28 to 30 minutes out of him. So I wouldn't be too discouraged about 24 minutes in back-to-back games. Just saying. Chat, what you got? Lazy says it's too early for Canadian Skip Bayless. It's tough, man. I don't know. He's on. Never change.
Be kind of sharp.
Never. No, you ain't. Well, you ain't Shannon Sharp. I'll be Shannon Sharp. Skip. Skip. What up, Mike? Dan Russ says I'm disappointed in the thumbnail. Maybe Raj should auto-tune his bad takes to make them easier to laugh at. Yo, I don't know if Raj's Twitter or Instagram is public, but Raj do be dropping them joints.
Oh, well, wait for the joints. Oh, we got a music video coming. Wait for the fire. Wait on it. Jalen Carter is coming.
I'm gonna die laughing, bro. Okay, maybe not. Trey Burke, young C. I guess maybe with Seth Curry out, Trey Burke maybe gets extra run here off the bench. We saw his potential upside in that first game where he absolutely went bananas. So at 36, 37 on each side, I don't think that's a crazy pull. I could see it. Not a high level of confidence, right? Didn't he shoot 80% in that explosion game? So maybe that's a little bit anomalic, but maybe not a crazy take, right? 30 minutes against Houston, a fast-paced overtime game where he had 31 real points. So if he gets a couple extra minutes here, could he go to 20, 23 minutes and be a little bit better as a stocking stuffer? Sure, but not something, you know what I'm saying? Not something that I would core or anything like that. Holmes foul trouble, yeah. No Hill has been bad at the restart, but he's historically crushed their Mavs stat muse. I mean, sure, we can look that up, but Buddy Hield's role right now is so much different than his past. Buddy Hield, DKP by game log versus Mavericks last 10 games. So 39 against Dallas on February 12th. Let's put some context to this. So he had 22 real points, 9 assists. Was that one of those games where Fox was out and Bogdan was out?
I'd imagine.
Then January 15th, 31. Again, that's a little closer to what you need at his price point today. December 8th. What's a good way to do this? I guess we can go to DK Live, and they have a calendar thing. We can go back to February 12th and just pull up the actual box score for the Sacramento Kings and the Dallas Mavericks. And the Dallas Mavericks had 130. This was a 20-point blowout, by the way. Hield had 31 minutes. There was De'Aaron Fox. Bogdan Bogdanovic only had 23 minutes that game. Yeah, I guess he caught fire that game, and it was a little bit of a blowout. So I wonder if there was some beneficiary or benefit. And then what's the other one that we said? We said it was December 8th. So let's go back to December 8th. 110 to 106. And this is a really short rotation. There was no Fox, no Bogdan Bogdanovic. Well, he did play for 28 minutes. I lied. A really short rotation, 34 minutes, 34, 38, 32. So he played 34 minutes, 26 real points. They're enough for everything. 41. I don't know. It just doesn't get it today for me. But I don't think you're crazy for taking shots on him. I do think he's gonna have a blow up game before long. But I did want to put a little bit of context to that. All right, let's move on to the next game here. Los Angeles Clippers hosting the Phoenix Suns. Project start at 5 for the Suns. Ricky Rubio, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, maybe. DeAndre Ayton taking on Patrick Beverley, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, and Ivica Zubac. A couple Q tags in this game we should probably get to the bottom of. We'll start with the Phoenix Suns side. Guess we'll look at Aaron Baines. Coach Monty Williams said on Saturday that it has been tricky to get Aaron Baines the practice he needs in order to get into game shape. He, of course, been dealing with COVID-19. Kelly Oubre is listed as out for Sunday's game. Oubre on the winner's blah, blah, blah. We'll see if he plays today. It looks like I'm going to assume Oubre's out until further notice, but they have him listed as questionable. And then Dario Saric is back. He played off the bench on Friday. No, that was from preseason. So I'm guessing what we're gonna get with Cam Johnson starting at the 5 here is good to go. But keep an eye on Saric because I don't think Saric. I feel like Saric hasn't played August 2nd. So I guess he has been back and off the bench for 20 minutes. Another high total here, 230.5 total. The Clippers 9-point favorites. I don't know what the disrespect is for Paul George and Kawhi on FanDuel is, but man, they are continually being too cheap. If I put them together and I get 85, 90 fantasy points from the two, I'm happy in all formats. And I'm going to go right back to the well today. I think Paul George is just way too cheap, like way too cheap. He's a small forward on DraftKings here. He's gotten you 43, 47 the last 2 games. The 26 minutes in a blowout against the Pelicans was enough for him to get there. Against the Lakers, a tougher matchup, a more grindy game, but he still got you the high 40s. I just don't know. I don't really have an argument against that Paul George price. And on that same breath, Kawhi Leonard on FanDuel being 8,600 just feels like I'm going to be using both of them a lot. 9K on DraftKings for Kawhi, I could understand like if you wanted to put that 9K into like a Porzingis to be different in tournaments, but I just love this combo so much. I will say it does look like Lou Williams should be available today because he had to go get some chicken wings, but I don't know for sure. Like he's still officially questionable, and if he did play, would he have a usual allotment of minutes? Montrezl Harrell, though, still listed as out. But give me Paul George, give me Kawhi here. I probably don't have anyone that makes me want to run to play on the Suns side, but I think DeAndre Ayton, 7'4", 7'5", still a little bit too cheap. And I want to say he's had a strong game against the Clippers earlier this season or 2 games against the Clippers, 30 minutes per game, 45 fantasy points. So 7-5, I take 45 all day long, all day strong. So maybe if I was picking a group from this game for optimizer, Paul George, Kawhi versus DeAndre Ayton, where are you at in terms of comfort and confidence in Devin Booker?
I'm playing Devin Booker today. I just think he's going to be hounded by Kawhi Leonard and Paul George all game. A guy just to struggle against that length, good defense, being the shooter he is. That's not a good game against the Clippers this year. I mean, he's averaging 39, 8-4. I think his upside, the upside just isn't there for me against Kawhi Leonard and Paul George.
Yeah, it seems that way.
I think Ayton could smash, though, at 7,500 on DK. He's against the Clippers in 30 minutes. I think he can get you a 50 bomb at 7,500.
I think it's possible if the game stays close. It's 9-point spread here, so kind of leaving the door open for this game to kind of get away. But yeah, Ayton probably profiles as my favorite son to target here. McCall Bridges is somebody that's going to play a lot of minutes, and your guess is as good as mine as far as how he's going to produce in those minutes. 4,900 on DraftKings, 39 minutes against Dallas, 34 against Washington of all teams. And then prior to that, 43. Like, the minutes are so there for McCall Bridges. You just want him to be like, bro, do something. How do you have 1 rebound in 39 minutes? Like,
yeah.
I feel like I catch a ball off the rim more than once if I'm standing on the court for 39 minutes. But
I mean, and he's supposed to get you peripherals. It's not like he's scoring 20 points, though.
Yeah, he did have 3 blocks and 2 steals for the FanDuel life, so that's 15 fantasy points right there. 9 shot attempts. I mean, like, the minute, I don't know. I feel like he could be a solid long shot stocking stuffer eventually. And if we took some pressure off for Booker, we'd probably have to compensate somewhere. And maybe Rubio at 6K on FanDuel, somebody that could pick up a little bit of slack and maybe a couple more shots fall McCall Bridges' way. And even Cam Johnson's a curious click at 4-5. But yeah, just on the forefront though, in 20 entry or less, you can give me a little bit of Ayton. But Paul George and Kawhi, man, like these guys are borderline core plays for me at 7-6, 8-6 on FanDuel. That's just
yeah. Like I said, on DK, I think Paul George 8-1 is fine. Kawhi Leonard at 9-1. I mean, you're gonna have to choose between him or Russell Westbrook. Picking him over him all day. Damian Lillard. Harder on DK to get the Kawhi Leonard, I think.
Yeah. Looking at the live chat. I just saw it said Mike Perez, high exposure on Giannis going against the grain. Can you see him playing 20 minutes, still getting the 50s? Definitely, I would be very disappointed if you didn't get at least 50 out of Giannis. And we kind of said earlier, Giannis has had some games where he's 2 fantasy points per minute. And in 25 minutes, he'll drop 50 or even close to 60. And we've seen him have 50 at half before. So I do think, like, that's a range of outcomes that isn't, like, that crazy. So if you wanted to be different, I would say maybe save the high exposure part, like maybe wait for ownership projections to kind of neutralize here and see where the field's at. Because it may not be a spot where you have to over invest in Giannis. Where if the field
might
was
be at 30%, and you could be double the field.
You think Giannis is 15% by the field?
I think so, 15 to 20.
I don't know. I mean, I'm conflicted because I've seen some people excited to play Giannis this morning with my ear to the ground. But I'm terrible at projecting ownership, so I don't want to steer anyone the wrong way. But yeah, Giannis has a cakewalk here. It just seems like this game should be over pretty quickly into the third. So maybe he gets his normal first half run and half the third. I don't know. Sometimes blowouts, when you smell the blowout, a coach would just like let him finish the third, and then the fourth quarter is a G League tip off. So I don't know. Here, what up, Ernesto? It's great that you're back. Today is my born day. I'm feeling like a winner. Hoping we all come. Oh man, well,
happy birthday!
Happy birthday. Let's move on to the next game here. Indiana Pacers hosting the Orlando Magic. 225.5 total. 1.5 point spread favor of the Orlando Magic. Project starting 5 for the Magic. DJ Augustine, Evan Fournier, James Ennis III, Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Vucevic taking on Malcolm Brogdon, Victor Oladipo, Justin Holiday, TJ Warren, and Miles Turner. Oladipo out yesterday for rest. Should play today. Malcolm Brogdon played yesterday. Was a great play. And coming back today, he's really cheap on both sides after having a really strong outing yesterday against the Wizards. On FanDuel yesterday, I loved Brogdon as a late swap pivot, man. And that's one of those benefits here. You guys that are watching are probably a step above the casual player where news comes out and you react to it. And when that news came out in the Discord, it was essentially my thoughts was like, man, I don't think people are going to utilize late swap like that. And I got Malcolm Brogdon at 5% owned against the Washington Wizards yesterday. So, yeah, I mean, it worked out. And I put him at 30% because there was like a minutes monitored scare tweet. But for those of you trying to really grind here, and a lot of players that have played FanDuel over the years on NBA anyway, FanDuel's never had late swap. So there's probably players that don't even know you could late swap or don't even know how. And Brogdon was a big case of how you could successfully use late swap and take advantage of a great play. And he's really cheap again today. Played 35 minutes against the Wizards. Depot's back. Maybe you can argue that maybe his usage goes down a little bit, but I still think he's far too underpriced for a guy that does enough of everything that his floor to ceiling ratio is fine at this price point. 6 assists, 7 rebounds. Maybe the rebounds don't come against the Magic. Earlier this season, he dropped 37.8 DKP in 39 minutes, so I'll take that. I think generally speaking, both sides, Brogdon's probably too cheap. And DraftKings specifically, 54. That's one of those prices. If you drop 25, it's not the end of the world. And I feel like 25 is such a low floor projection here. So Brogdon on DraftKings, I love that spot. Depot's getting awfully cheap on both sides. This is kind of a cheap team all the way around. TJ Warren's coming off back-to-back monster games. Yesterday, when I did my solo stream, because my co-host is flaky, I was saying, man, I wish Warren would be a little less scoring dependent. The peripherals had not been there. A lot of just 4 rebounds and no assists, no block. Yesterday was almost a complete game. 11 boards, 4 assists, 4 blocks, 3 steals. 7 stocks for FanDuel was actually insane. Playing 40 minutes. He's 8K on DraftKings in a tough matchup. I think 8K against the Magic is kind of where I'm pulling back a little bit. He was 50% owned a lot of my contests yesterday. At 6,400 though on FanDuel, the decision you have to look at what the small forward pool looks like. You got Giannis Antetokounmpo. You have to gamble on him, first of all, in a blowout. Secondly, like I said, I still think there's a loose chance that maybe he, doesn't play. And then there's Kawhi Leonard, who I love. Then there's TJ Warren, who's almost half of what Giannis is. This is a giant cliff from Giannis, then the Kawhi at 2.5K cheaper, and then bam, 2K cheaper is TJ Warren, and then it's a cesspool of good luck. So TJ Warren's probably going to continue to be 50% owned, and at 6,400 on FanDuel, you really just need him to put up half of what he's put up the last 2 games. And the matchup's not what you want, but it's hard to get away from TJ Warren in the small forward position on FanDuel today. So I would expect 70% ownership again on him. So I probably lock button that, right? If he's 70% owned and I want some type of leverage, I'm probably just going to go all in or fade him. And I just think you can't get around it on FanDuel. On DraftKings, though, AK, that's Paul George, that's Kawhi area. That's more Paul George area. Where are you at on TJ Warren versus the Orlando Magic with Oladipo back and a 225 total on a back-to-back?
DK, I think, is an easy fade at 8K with Oladipo back. He coming off 2 amazing games. I'm just not going to play him. But if Brogdon plays too, Brogdon, Oladipo, they have their guys back, I'm just going to fade TJ Warren at 8K. The only guy I'm really kind of interested in, I guess, in Indiana, 2 guys would be Turner at 6,500, still having at a price where you can play him if he's going to play 30-plus minutes against Vooch. You have Brogdon, 54. It's a back-to-back. It's a bit of a worry. He played 35 last night. At 5,400, he just...
I'm not worried about that. Brogdon was throwing 35s easily with the Bucks. It was a neck injury or neck strain or whatever, stiff neck. It's not like he's nursing a lower leg or lower body injury. I'm not worried about Brogdon playing a back to back.
5,400. I mean, he might be a core play for me at that price. Oladipo 59. That's interesting too. He always does go off against Orlando, even though this is not in. Is it in Orlando? Well, technically it is in Orlando. I mean, no fan. Do you think doesn't he always smash Orlando? He was pissed off the trade.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah, I don't think that counts here. I'm probably not getting to Depot here. I'd probably rather play Buddy Hield than Oladipo, but.
Okay, hold on. He played 32 minutes against Philly, be 28 DK points. You don't think at 5,900 there's some upside there?
I think you're underrating the Magic here. First of all, let's talk about the matchup. The Orlando Magic are bottom 4 team in pace, and in terms of defensive efficiency, Orlando Magic are a league average in terms of defensive efficiency 100.
If that moves Victor Oladipo versus Orlando, that's my dude. He destroys them.
It's not this.
Not the same, but he destroys them.
All right. Y'all are treating stat muse like BVP. Is it like relax? I'll do it. Last 10 games. 40, 52, 65. So 40 came in 39 minutes. Is he playing 39 minutes today? Probably not. 52, 33 minutes. That came in 2017. He hasn't played them since 2018, first of all. Okay. Just stop. You guys are killing me with the stat muse. Miles Turner, though, I'm way more trepidatious than you are in this spot. But I love me some Vucevic. 7-8 on both sides. If this game can stay neutral, it's 1.5 point spread. Vuce at 8K could drop 50 easily. And he's easily going to get lost in the shuffle compared to all the other studs on the slate. 47.5 DKP in 24 minutes, by the way, against the Sacramento Kings. 20-10 double-double. I do like him in this spot. He dropped 51 in one game this season against the Pacers, 34.5 minutes. Miles Turner gets beat up. No Sabonis down there. It's a great spot for Vooch. So I like him at 7-8 to be a lower-owned 40 to 50 point opportunity. I can't see him being over 15% on this slate. So I definitely like Vucevic quite a bit. Evan Fournier is a shot in the dark. Don't hate it. Aaron Gordon has a big discrepancy in price between his FanDuel price point and his DraftKings. We're talking just about $2,000 difference. So at 7,400, you're probably not considering Gordon on DraftKings, but at 5,600, is Gordon somebody that can slide in for a 30 fantasy point game? I think it's very viable. I only got 22 last time out. But things are a little bit different. He got 33.25 against that slow-paced Kings team. We know he's going to dunk a lot. Where are the Pacers at on points in the paint? Pacers allowing 48.3 points in the paint per game. Pretty decent in terms of wing defense. So I probably have more than zero of Aaron Gordon at 5,600. I just feel like that price leaves me a little wiggle room. But Vooch on both sides, I can get down with. What up, Crispy? Who? Markelle Fultz? Maybe. It looks like they're slow rolling him to build him up a little bit. But he's one of those, until he's off the chain. I mean, DraftKings is basically 5K. I mean, a couple hundred, he's 600 less than Brogdon. I'm finding that 600. You know what I'm saying? Let's move on, or let's get back to the chat here. What up, Crispy? What up, Gun? TJW, MPJ, and Harden or Russ. Do not fade guys that put up 70 at 8K. For TJ Warren, MPJ, and Harden or Russ. So you're saying you like TJ Warren at 8K. I'm not necessarily saying I dislike him, but after back-to-back games of 70 DKP, where is his ownership at 8K today versus what I can do with my own lineups and leverage, right? So I don't know. I feel like the field on DraftKings is a lot smarter and I think there's a couple ways that could play out. Because T.J. Warren was not that high owned yesterday on DraftKings. He was mad chalk on FanDuel, but on DraftKings, I think he was in the 30-ish or less.
Just 30-ish, yeah.
Yeah, so now that he gets an uptick in price, a downgraded matchup, and Depot's back in the mix on a back-to-back, I think I like 8K.
First game with both Brogdon and Depot back.
He's averaging 16.5 fantasy points, 2 games, 31 minutes a game. Yeah, there's still no Sabonis. I just think these rebounds were a little on the fake side yesterday. Washington is Washington, man. And then Philly, Turner got in foul trouble. I do like the 40 minutes. Turner got in foul trouble against Philly.
Games, Philly has given up a lot of points now. They gave a lot of points to San Antonio, a lot of points to Indiana. I think Philly's not as great of a defensive team as people think.
I'm just saying, like, I want to play devil's advocate. And against Philly, he shot 75% from 3.
Career night, it happens.
That's unsustainable against the Nets with no peripherals. Then he curtain called it, shooting 53% total on 26 shots. I still think he's a 20-shot guy, but he only hit 1 3 that game, so he got a little bit colder. But he made up for it with 4 blocks and 3 steals, which is not something that's atypical of T.J. Warren basketball, and double-digit rebounds as well. Now, we couple that with the fact that it's the Orlando Magic. The Magic have been pretty stout defensively. We go look at their DVP chart here. Man, it's a lot of green. That means it's a tough matchup. So at 8K, if I thought he was just 30% today, and I don't, I feel like the field is sharper. But I feel like that could, if I could distinguish myself from that, from 30%, and I don't think he will be, then I just won't play it. I don't know. It's just like not a matter. Like I can look at those last 2 games and spot what's not right, what's not normal. Now don't get me wrong, T.J. Warren has won me some scratch in the past. And he's probably gonna be easily my highest on small forward on FanDuel at that price. But at AK on DraftKings, if he bottoms out at 30, it's a GG, and I could certainly see that being the case here. So I'm not excited to play him on DraftKings, but on FanDuel by default, he's probably a lock, probably. Going to need some high owned guys. Yeah, it may not be T.J. Warren, but somebody high owned is going off. Maybe Harden or Russ. I agree with that. Like, there's gonna be chalk that hits, and that happens every day. Yesterday we saw that on FanDuel as well. Yesterday on FanDuel in my top line, there was 3 guys at 50%. I'm actually kind of curious. Let me go pull that up. There was 3 guys in my top line at 50%. One of them was T.J. Warren. And if we're talking from a FanDuel standpoint, oh crap, I don't want to scroll through 150. I forgot I ran 150 lines in baseball yesterday. I had to keep clicking next. Okay, here we go. One more time. But I did run. I think what we would do for basketball yesterday, 25. All right, so we don't have to scroll that far. But yesterday on FanDuel. If I pull it up or even just look in the top line in the top, here we go. Oh, this is from the other day. Gosh darn it. But yes, on FanDuel every day, there's always a 40-50% owned core, and yesterday it was T.J. Warren. It was Michael Porter Jr. was kind of up there too on FanDuel because he was 4K. Totally missed the boat on that. Did I run 150 on baseball yesterday? Yeah, I did. I wish there was an easier way I could have just typed in, hey FanDuel, give me my basketball from yesterday. Here we go. Found it. By the way, if you guys don't play that pick and roll on FanDuel, I love that. It's a 2-2-2 contest on both sides. All right, so top lineup in this one had a 34% Aaron Holiday, a 47% Warren, and a 50% Anthony. Anthony Davis was just effing 50% on yesterday. Guys like John Morant. So there's always high-owned guys just because of the slate being Sixers. What the F is happening? So there will be high-owned guys going off, and I think Harden will generate a lot of ownership. I do think some of these Blazers will generate ownership. And on FanDuel, you're probably going to get a lot of Brooklyn Nets ownership just because they did not react to their price like DraftKings did. So Tyler Johnson will probably be 30-40% owned at 4K. So you will need some chalk that goes off, but identifying good chalk versus bad chalk. And I don't think AK TJ Warren becomes chalk because I feel like the field is way sharper than it used to be. See if you can teach Raj the stat muse. Okay, buddy. Vooch is better value on DraftKings. I like him on both sides. I think on if we look at FanDuel, what's that center position even looking like? There's Nurkic, who will probably Nurkic, Vooch, and Aiden. That's a really nice top three. So yeah, and on DK you could play him in two spots. I don't know. I like Vooch a lot too, but Nurkic has been crushing it. Let's move on to the next game. Miami Heat hosting the Boston Celtics. Project starting five for the Celtics: Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Gordon Hayward, Daniel Tice taking on Kendrick Nunn, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy G, Buckets, Jay Crowder, and Bam Adebayo. Man, that Heat Raptors game actually produced some. Is there a murder? Yo, is somebody getting their back blown out in the background there? What the F is that, dog? Yesterday's Raptors and Heat game final score was 107-103. If you knew that pre-flop, you probably weren't going to go after too many plays in that game, but there were some options. Goran Dragic, 28 minutes, dropped 25 real points. That's a couple games where he's been a pretty handy guy to have in your player pool. Jay Crowder with another 30 fantasy points. Kelly Olynyk, 30 fantasy points. Adebayo let you down, but then Fred VanVleet dropped 36 real points, 42 minutes. So there was a couple of guys there, but generally there's only two or three guys that really, really, really took you to the dance. Heat back-to-back here hosting the Celtics. On paper, one of those games that projects as a more grindy team of two plus defenses, but a 221 total. So here we go again. Vegas giving these bubble games a little bit more leeway. Kemba Walker, we'll see how that minute restriction is kind of getting to now. That window kind of opened up a little bit more that last game. Where he went 19 minutes to 22 minutes. Could that 22 become a 25-26? I'm still not interested, but his price is getting down. So maybe some people will consider him. And then Jason Tatum's coming off a big game. And I'm pretty much a guy all season long where if all five starting players for the Celtics are healthy and playing, I'm fading. I'm staying away. But 40 minutes against Portland, he got it done. 58 fantasy points. Looking outside in, I could see a case where like Tatum doubles TJ Warren today, and everyone's got TJ Warren. Just throwing that out. On the Heat side, Bam Adebayo, lackluster game yesterday. Jimmy Butler is 7-8 on FanDuel, 7-2. I mean, that's right there on DraftKings at Paul George territory. I'm playing Paul George snap call here all day long, all day strong. Dragic has been a puncher's chance at 30 DKP, 30 FanDuel points the last two games in the bubble, 29-43. So maybe you put him in your pocket as a filler if you're running multiple lineups. Dropped 35 DKP against Boston earlier this season. So again, not a core play. But I think on the surface, this is one of those games where I'm very low on, but I can cherry pick a couple of guys if I'm running 100. Anybody that's screaming to you here, Heat on a back-to-back? Awkward silence.
For me, I didn't know you were done. I just started going on.
Oh, you're good.
I like Tatum over TJ Warren too. I think Tatum is a guy, especially in these kind of competitive games, going to step up, lead this team. 300 coming off of a 58. I don't expect that. If you get close to 45, that'd be great at 8-3. Give me Tatum. Brown's a guy I just don't play a ton of. But, I mean, he has those games, but do you expect another 30-point real-life game from him? Probably not. Portland's definitely an easier matchup, I think. Miami. Oh, to Jaylen Brown. Not that comfortable. Kemba Walker at 6'4". That's the guy who is interesting. I know the minutes went up 19-22. So if it goes up again to, let's say, 26, 28, 6-4, then there's upside there. Kemba Walker.
No.
I think so. If he plays 26, 28 minutes at 6-4.
What is the upside?
I mean, get you.
It's a negative match. You think he can get 40 in 26 minutes against the Heat? That's obviously not impossible.
Yeah,
but that's pushing it. That's pushing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm saying like in a ceiling. I mean, large field tournament.
There's just no. I can't. I can't.
I guess you just play Malcolm Brogdon over him all day at
I mean, just straight up 1v1 like.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but Kemba Walker versus Tyler Johnson at the same price. I'd probably go Tyler Johnson for 38 minutes today. I'm just saying, like
the minutes. Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, and
I'm just throwing it out there. If they say how many minutes he'll play.
No, they gave us a vague window last time, so I expect another vague window this time. But yeah, Tatum would probably be the only guy I'm even curious with, and even that I probably end up with no Celtics anyway. That's just been my rule all year. Bam Adebayo, I think after yesterday, 8K77, I can see people being down on him. I think this whole game is going to be something that doesn't make my player pool in 2025 lineups.
Like a defensive kind of grinded out game.
You would think so. Yesterday was too. We saw a couple of diamonds in the rough. How about this name? Kelly Olynyk, 3,800 on DraftKings. A little bit of a revenge narrative, right? But how about these last two games from him? 30 and 35 DKP. 31 minutes against Toronto. That was a much closer game. Denver was a blowout, 24 minutes there. But he's getting near 20 real points a game, double-digit shots, maybe sprinkling a couple peripherals at 3,800.
Good value. We haven't really talked a lot of value guys. He might be the value guy.
Yeah, I put him in my pocket. Like, I would taper my expectation, but I put him in my pocket. Earlier season, he played 27 minutes against Boston, 22 DKP. Definitely a guy that the bottom could fall out any moment here, and he just gives you 20. But at 3,800, you might take 20 as a stick of glue to get you Harden and Luka or something like that.
Under 4K have we really loved?
No, I agree. Yeah, there hasn't been a whole lot of value. That's my alarm to get up and do things. Yeah, chat. What do you guys got on this one? What do you guys think of Cameron Payne as a value play from the Suns? I think he's a fine look. Oh, no, you're thinking from the Suns. 3,200, 19 minutes. Probably not a whole lot of typical upside, but I mean, if you're happy with 20, if that's giving you a double stud lineup, maybe go for it. The Clippers not really a plus matchup. I guess their bench versus this bench would be a better spot, but it's just a punt at its very best. Someone's getting both their backs blown out. Wow, I feel like Darian is on like a 20-minute delay. What a Pete Olynyk, he's liking the ball. Yeah, Olynyk's getting it done so far. Let's move on to the next game, the main event. Before we do that, take a pause for the cause. Remind you guys that you guys can hang out with the crew all day in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord. These cats are already rising and shining, drinking their coffee. Earlier, we showed you all of the screenshots last night. It was Screenshot City. If you guys want to join a group of, we have 60, 70 subscribers. We have daily voice chats. You get access to the spreadsheets. I share my player pool if you want to compare yours to mine. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. And then, of course, just talking strategy and game theory with people all day. And then for NBA, man, like I said yesterday, I think we were chilling in chat, and Celia dropped in and was like, hey, Gun, what do we do now with late swap? And I was like, Malcolm Brogdon, elite play on FanDuel now, 5% own. So just having like a team that you can jump in while you're living your life, living your best life out there doing some work. You can probably find us in voice chat or just tag us, and we can hit you up with some quick reflexes, and even keep you notified for when people get scratched. When something big happens, we tag everyone. So having a team working together all day is such a valuable thing in an all-day grind like NBA is right now. So if you guys want to jump in on that, go to rundfs.com, make yourself an account, click VIP passes. Find the pass that's right for you. There's week, 2 week passes, month pass, and you can lock in till the end of the year. That's for everything. One size fits all. We're not selling single betting picks. We're not selling single sports or nothing like that. One thing unlocks everything. Once you get signed up, go to forums, go to VIP threads, and then click the onboarding thread. That's going to get you the Discord link and a couple spreadsheet links. And then if you have any questions at all, hit me up on Twitter, twitter.com/GundackerSports, or when you get into that Discord, just click my name and DM me. I don't bite. Houston Rockets at the Portland Trailblazers. Main event tonight, 242.5 total. 4.5 point spread in favor of the Rockets. Project starting 5 for the Rockets. Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Daniel House, Robert Covington, P.J. Tucker. Taking on Damian Lillard, C.J. McCollum, Carmelo Anthony, Zach Collins, and Yusef Nurkic. A 242 total. That's high. That's what you want. The Blazers are coming off a 2-game stretch where they were a viable, successful 3-man stack. Lillard, McCollum, and Yusef Nurkic. They've all got fancy new prices to where it's going to be a lot harder to 3-man stack them. Damian Lillard, let's call it like it is. He's basically 10K on DraftKings. You're going to need that 50+. CJ McCollum's 8,200. I've been scared to play McCollum in the 6Ks when Lillard's back. But back-to-back games, 40 and 50. In this game, this pace gets up, and we're probably going to see deep minutes. If it stays in regulation, we'll get deep minutes. But if it goes to OT, like these two teams tend to do, it could be even more viable. And then Yusef Nurkic, 8,500 on DraftKings, 8,200. Good luck, PJ Tucker. You do you, boo-boo. And Nurkic has been absolutely balling. I love that Nurkic is forward eligible on DraftKings. Gives you a little bit more versatility because you could still get to those like Vucevic, Nurkic lines and still have that util spot for somebody else. But back-to-back 50 bombs. And he's doing a little bit of everything. He took 20 shots against Boston, but filling it in with steals, with some blocks. 6 blocks against Memphis, 5 assists, 9 boards. So definitely a guy that can give you 45, 50+ fantasy points. I do think that there's not a comfort level with the Blazers all the way around price-wise. Like, I don't know that I could see myself projecting a range of outcomes where an often range of outcome is these 3 guys still hit at these prices. But I definitely think at a 240 total with this pace and the players involved, I'm a buyer. And Zach Collins at 4,300. This could be that, I don't call it the Michael Porter Jr. spot where we forget about him and then he pops off. But if we go look at that DVP chart in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet, Houston's allowed the 3rd most fantasy points on the season to opposing power forwards. Meanwhile, Portland's allowed the 2nd most. So mutually good matchups on the surface for Rocco and Collins. Rocco's up to 7K on DraftKings. I mean, it's been a while since we paid that, but the matchup is right. And 68 on FanDuel. So we're going to get high minutes and high opportunities at peripherals and some scoring in this total. So there are some supplementary role players that I have interest in. But let's talk about the studs here. Russell Westbrook, James Harden. How much James Harden? 11-3 today. Would you have more Harden than Giannis? And how much Harden would you just even have in general?
I don't know if this is like a thing, but in 3 games this year, Harden against Portland's average 43 DraftKings points, and Russell Westbrook's average 59 or 68 DraftKings points in 3 games. I don't know if it's the way they're defending Harden, but it seems like Westbrook just goes all the way off, and Harden is a relatively decent game.
Yeah, actually, that's a great point. James Harden, let me find that quote. I remember talking about that the last time. Terry Stotts had like a specific game plan on.
Sounds about right the way those numbers look.
Strategy for man. I don't want to waste time here trying to find it on the air. But I remember that being a thing. I remember Terry Stotts. That's just it. Where in the world did that defense? Coach Terry Stotts didn't get specific about it, but the Trailblazers were different Wednesday night than they've been all season. The team that hasn't defended well did. Portland held Houston's Harden to
They had a team against Harden where I think they forced it out of his hands. And just required Westbrook to do more. It is essentially what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I kind of like in today's lineups building around, let's say, like a Westbrook, Lillard, and maybe even not having a lot of Harden or Giannis.
Yeah, I like a lot of the AK area, man, and I liked it the other day. Just going back down a little bit, if I go to all, especially on DraftKings, Nurkic is there. I talked about Vucevic. Paul George is way too cheap. Kawhi Leonard's still affordable. DeAndre Ayton, I think, has some meat on the bone. You know, I love me some and Ayton's a forward too, bro. I love.
Yeah, they got power forward eligible, which is nice.
Dude, could you do Ayton just to be different? Ayton, Vooch, and maybe Nurkic here.
Yeah.
In the forward spot.
The Dominator doesn't get run off the court.
Nah, I don't think. For who? Whiteside? Come on.
I mean, do they go small too?
What?
Zach Collins at the 5?
Stretch out Melo. I mean, I guess it's possible.
So because I love Nurkic, he should get you a 50 bomb here. Seems like screams it. I just think he could get run off the court.
Yeah, Porzingis. You know, I love me some center lineups, dog. Ayton, Vooch, Nurkic, Porzingis in the line. Oh, 43 per though. They can't do much with that. But yeah, the mid tier is strong enough to where I don't over prioritize the high price guys, especially since Paul George and Kawhi still exist, and I think they have meat on the bone. But it's a 240 total. Lillard's a guy that at 10K I think could spook some people. People, you know, if at that price, I'm just gonna go play, Westbrook or whatever. But Lillard averaging 50 against Houston. I think this is a team that's playing inspired, must-win basketball. So I like Lillard.
The Houston Rockets are just a more talented, better Washington in DFS wise, just a better, more talented Washington Wizards. The pace, playing no defense, just more talented offensively.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the vibe, but they did go out there and get Covington. I mean, Tucker. I don't know.
I think the
they're
way
just
they
undersized.
play points. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with it though. I see what you're saying. How about this name? Carmelo Anthony, 4,800 on FanDuel.
Oh, definitely a name to think about.
Revenge game too, right?
Revenge.
He put up 32 in that first game against Memphis, a similar pace. Boston's going to be a grind down spot, slower pace, but he's getting double-digit shot attempts. 5,700 could be right in front of our faces if he ends the day at 30. I think I'd be a little bit more curious on FanDuel, but even then, like FanDuel just seems like I'm going to play Kawhi and TJ Warren and move forward. Chat, what are you guys doing with this one? And if you guys have any names, questions, comments, concerns about the whole slate, throw them at us now, and I'll try and tackle them before we get out of here and go work on that pre-log voice chat with the premium subscribers at rundfs.com. Devin says, I like the Blazers outright to win. Money line? Okay. What up, Hector? Woke up, been watching. Thanks for the stream. Really need the info today. Man, good luck, Hector. Hope to see you around. Hector, look out for me on Twitch tonight. Might play some Fortnite since the Yankee game got postponed. We'll see. Gary Trent, that's the name.
Definitely a name.
That's the name. 34 minutes against Boston, 26 against Memphis. It's been a point per minute plus. I mean, that's 100K to first type of play right there. Yeah, I don't think I can get behind that with touting it with some confidence, but the cherry pick some of those value plays that might pop off. You guys have mentioned a couple of them, right? If you guys want to help me out before you get out of here, give me a thumbs up on this video. I appreciate you guys. I will be back sometime today, probably after NBA lock, with a baseball stream. So if you guys want to play some MLB DFS tonight, I'll be back live on the airwaves for that. It'll be after the first game tips off, and then we'll kind of look at today's baseball slate. So look out for the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Put notifications on if you want to get those push notifications for when I do go live. And then, of course, if you have anything else, hit twitter.com/GunDeckerSports. Pete says, only thing to stop the Yankees is a hurricane. Bro, even then, I don't know. I feel like Aaron Judge hit a home run in a hurricane. Gosh dang it.
Does look like he might
No,
get that MVP?
Yeah, I'm gonna need you. We're live on the air, guys. Chat Vipers, Rods. Tell me you were wrong, bro.
I mean, I'm still gonna roll with Giancarlo Stanton with more home runs than Aaron Judge by the year.
Okay, you're still just going to go down in a ball of flames.
It's in the hot streak,
Chat, this ain't a hot streak. This is healthy Judge. This is what he does when he's healthy. Gosh darn it. Okay. Stanton's looking good, but Aaron Judge is looking like an MVP. Defensively, offensively, he's locked in, bro. Come at me.
I'll give him that. He definitely is.
Hector says, "Who's in for Jared Allen since he's out?" Yes, is the answer. Lance Thomas is who I got jotted down, guys. I don't think I can get behind touting Lance Thomas. Look at this depth chart. Let me pull up the Roto World depth chart for you, Hector. Chris Chiozza, Tyler Johnson. I don't think Claxton's. I don't think he's there. I don't think he's a thing. He got started. Remember, he took that spill. So it literally is like Rodion Carew. Chandler's opted out for the season. Lance Thomas is there. Like, it's ugly. I'm sure they probably have.
Lance Thomas get you 10 rebounds, 10 points.
Stop what you're doing. Literally stop what you're doing.
A guy playing 30 minutes at center.
I mean, yes. So you guys that play NBA DFS, the last week of the season, you're always going to see some weird crap. The Nets could be that team today where you just put a bunch of scrubs out there for 35 minutes and you're going to get some weird results. But can I sit here and speculate it and be responsible for guys playing Lance Thomas? No. So I'm not. But it's possible. Anyway, guys, I'm headed to the RunDFS.com VIP Discord. If you guys want to join in on that, grab a microphone, join the conversation, curse out Rods for his ridiculous takes, go to RunDFS.com, get yourself a VIP pass. I will see you guys later today for the baseball stream, or maybe later tonight or tomorrow for another NBA stream. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Hope you win all the money today. Good luck. God bless.